please explain why you have different opinions on the AMH test compared to other specialists in the industry?
I have very different background in terms of understanding of AMH tests. Just due to pure lack, I got involved in both science of AMH, actually as a molecule itself, science of AMH tests, properties of AMH tests, application of AMH tests as a scientist, as a researcher, and also application of AMH tests as a clinician, fertility specialist. So I have been working with AMH for last 16 years. So just due to pure luck, I got into the program as a clinical fellow program in Manchester University IVF department in 2009. So then we decided to do a series of research studies on AMH test and application of AMH in understanding fertility of women and application of AMH in IVF. So then I decided to do MD to study all of this. This is in conjunction of biomedicine, medical side of AMH test and application of AMH test itself in fertility in IVF. As a part of my MD, I did 5 years of research and got my MD back in 2014. So from 2010 to 2015, I was working as a clinician, as clinical fellow, and applying AMH tests to patients undergoing fertility treatment in IVF in Manchester. And I was doing research and modeling, which is statistical modeling by best statistician in the world in IVF or reproductive medicine modeling. So, and for 5 years we did the modeling of AMH, and I worked under one of the best clinicians in Manchester called Cheryl Fitzgerald as her trainee applying AMH tests. And we did a lot of discoveries, and we did a series of publications, and we changed a lot of practice in terms of application of AMH tests during those 5-year period. And as a scientist, I had to do a lot of modeling to understand the properties of AMH tests. Then I understood actually this test is poorly understood by whole public, including scientists and specialists and fertility in the fertility clinics. It's being applied, but in a very small proportion of population who's undergoing IVF treatment or fertility treatment. Application should be much wider. And ever since I've been telling, like, a scientific community in conferences, in publications, encouraging people to understand and use. And one of the reasons of doing this, the live streams and TikTok and Instagram, to go directly to the public so that they start understanding role of AMH and use for their own fertility, because it can save a lot of stress. If you know your egg reserve and if you can predict in the future, you can save yourself from a lot of stress in the future. So yeah, and overall my understanding of AMH is very different because I got very extensive scientific and clinical background, and actually I've done MD on AMH. So if you look at my MD thesis, the title is application of AMH in assisted reproduction. As a part, we did a full-scale investigation and study of this test. That's why my opinion about AMH is different compared to other people, clinicians, maybe even scientists, because I worked in the conjunction of science and clinical application of AMH in understanding of fertility.